Okay, so let's unpack one of the most famous accounts in history. We're looking at Matthew chapter 14.
The feeding of the 5,000.
Exactly. Everyone knows the basics. 5 loaves, 2 fish, a massive crowd gets fed. It's a classic.
It is. But the argument we're making in this deep dive is that everyone focuses on the what, on the magic of it.
And they completely miss the why.
And that why is everything. It shifts the entire focus from a spectacle to something much more about human connection and about what you do when you feel like you have nothing to offer.
So before we even get to the food, let's set the scene. To really get the stress of the situation, where are they?
They're in what Desolate calls a desolate place, basically the wilderness. Jesus was trying to get away, get some quiet time.
But a crowd follows him, a huge one.
Oh, massive. 5,000 men, and that's not even counting women and children. So you could be looking at 15, maybe 20,000 people.
And they've all followed him on foot into the middle of nowhere. It's a logistical nightmare.
It is. And it's getting late. The disciples see this, and they have a very pragmatic reaction.
Purely practical. They're thinking, we need to offload this problem now.
Which is exactly what they suggest. They say, send the crowds away, let them go buy their own food. It's sensible, it's reasonable.
But Jesus doesn't see a logistical problem. He sees a human need.
Right, and he's not annoyed.
Yeah.
The first thing it says he does is that he had compassion on them. And he starts by healing their sick.
And then he drops the bombshell on the disciples. When they want to send everyone away, he just says,
you give them something to eat.
That's just a panic-inducing moment. You can imagine them just checking their pockets. Us? With what?
So they do a quick inventory, and all they come back with is 5 loaves and 2 fish.
And it's important to note what kind of loaves these were, right?
Yes. They were barley loaves. This was the food of the poor. Sometimes it was even used as animal feed. So it's not just a small amount of food. It's a low-quality, tiny amount of food.
It's laughably insufficient.
Completely. And this is where that motive you mentioned earlier becomes so critical. The compassion. The text uses a word for this that's so much deeper. Hesed, yeah. It's this Hebrew concept that means so much more than just pity. It's God's active, loyal, steadfast love. It's a love that does something.
So when he sees a need, he's compelled to act. It's not about putting on a show, it's a rescue mission.
Exactly. He heals, he teaches, and then he feeds. He cares about their physical hunger just as much as their spiritual state.
Yeah.
It's holistic.
So let's go back to the disciples holding that animal feed. The real insight here feels like it's about participation.
It is. I mean, we've all been there. You look at a huge problem, and then you look at your own resources and just feel pathetic.
Totally inadequate.
But look at the process.
Yeah.
Jesus invites them to participate. He doesn't just snap his fingers and make food appear from thin air.
No, he asks for what they have.
He asks for what's already there, no matter how small or, unimpressive. He takes their tiny offering, he blesses it, and then he multiplies it.
That reframes everything. It's not about you having the power to solve the problem. It's an invitation to trust that your small contribution,
Your barley loaves,
is the seed for the miracle.
Yeah. You don't have to multiply the food, you just have to be willing to hand it over. The source material makes a great point here that, sharing love today might just be making a cup of tea for someone.
The scale isn't your responsibility. The offering is. I love that. So here's the challenge for you listening. Identify your own 5 loaves. When you feel completely empty or overwhelmed, what's the small thing you actually can bring to the table?
And to take it one step further, if the whole thing started with compassion, not power, how does that change the way you look at the problems in front of you right now?
That is a huge question. A great place to leave it.
Because whatever you have, really, it is enough to start.